Eleanor lived in. We moved to that house. Of course, it didn't have any indoor plumbing. Just pump out in the back, well about in the back. It didn't even have a pump. You had to draw it up on a bucket. And then my dad was working at that time for somebody in Medford, some kind of agency, I don't know. And later he went to work for the government with this Tillamook fire. They had to do a lot of going in and finding what records were still available and that kind of thing. So he did quite a bit of travel to the coast by way of Brookings and some of those places, and also sometimes clear up toward Tillamook and all. And so we were there that winter. But that was an awful winter. I don't know what it was. That was the winter that we really didn't have Christmas. That was winter that Jim and I each got one present, and Everett and Florence bought us a heavy cardboard desk. They put it together. It looked nice, but had ink wells in it, and place for paints and stuff. And Jim and I never either one of us did any painting. My gift was a little, like a bandy rooster, hooked to a little pull thing. So when you wound him up, he pulled this little cart around. And Jim got a ball of some sort. And of course, here I am. I'm in the 5th grade. The little toy didn't really interest me much, but I played with it quite a bit anyway to keep the thing going. And then we went to we had our stocking at house, and we went to the church. They had a party, and you had some candy and stuff as well. But that was a really bad winter. And that was when we moved out there. We took the cow with us because there was some ground there. We thought that she'd have a calf, and got out and found out that she wouldn't breed. And I can remember the first time I really saw my mother cry like that. She just bawled and bawled. That cow was no longer available for the milk and things, and we had to have her butchered, So I guess she did her last job in that way. And that was the winter that Dorothy and Emery had their first child. His name was Stephen, and Stephen Nye, and he died. He was about 4 or 5 months old when he died. And so that was kind of a bad winter. Yeah. And then we moved into Bedford again and started the 5th grade at Washington School over there on the west side. And that was a kind of a fun time because we were within 8 or 10 blocks of the library, and Jim and I would walk down and we'd get all kinds of books and bring them back and read them. And it wasn't too far from school to walk over. And I even played a little football that next fall, although that was the first time I'd ever had a helmet or a uniform on like that. And but it was a nice neighborhood. And the kids there were quite a variety of different kids, but we had a lot of fun, did a lot of things. One of the fun things in the summertime was rubber gun shooting. We would make our rubber guns, and we'd put these strips from old used tires on it, and then you'd fix it so you could shoot like half a dozen. If you figured it out right, you could hook them up and you'd shoot at each other. And we'd had kind of teams, and they would hide in garages around the neighborhood, and it was a lot of fun that way. And so it was nice. Like I said, it was a nice neighborhood. And we were there then for a year. I remember 2 things about that especially. One, during the winter it rained so hard that the water was just running over the gutters in the street. And Jim had gotten that year, he got a tricycle. And he used to take some of the high school kids across. They'd stand on the back of it. He'd take them across the street. And I remember I got tonsillitis really, really bad. I had tonsillitis a lot during my childhood, and that was one of my worst ones. And I remember Price got me a little thing. It was a little box-like thing, and an air pump, and this elephant was on there. And when you'd squeeze it, the elephant would go up. He'd raise up on his hind legs, Yeah, I like that. Well, then in the spring, that's when my dad got the job up in Grand Coulee with his brother. And so he moved ahead of us, about 6 weeks ahead of us. And I didn't finish school there. I didn't finish the grade technically, but then Price hooked. I'll put all our stuff on a trailer, and we moved up to Grand Coulee, and that's where I started my 6th grade. One story I thought was interesting about the living there, and it was King Street it was called in Bedford. Our Dorothy's husband, he was quite from a child, from 8 or 10, he'd been hunting, with a 22, everybody hunted up there at Prospect. And those days it was pretty loose, nobody worried much about regulations and stuff. Well, he